Huh. And he's coming in for another one. So now how much you think this weighs?
If you follow the channel, you know that we just picked this truck up from MAXXD. We brought them the truck, but they actually upfitted it with this new design that they have. So if you come with me, MAXXD has recently stepped away from doing trailers. They're still making their trailers, but they are proposing the idea of running the same trailer setup, but on the rear of your truck. So after going back and forth with them a lot, I really was serious about having this on a larger truck. I didn't want it on a small Dodge 5500, and they made it happen. So this is what we're working with, and this is a beta test. This thing could fail miserably, and they discontinue the product entirely, never going to production. So as of now, this is essentially a one-of-one truck. A lot of guys have made trucks like this, but keep in mind, this is a PTO system for your hydraulics going up, and then we have a reeving system for the winch, which is pretty incredible. So what we're gonna do now is start getting this thing to work. First thing we need to do is get these cans unstacked. That way we can get them to our sticker shop. That way they can get this thing branded up, and it can actually start making us money like we hope it does. It's just crazy how quiet it is. I think that's the favorite part for me right now. I mean, this is the first time you've seen this, so what do you think of it, Keegan?
I think it's extremely quiet. It's actually nuts how quiet it is.
This kind of feels like stealthy.
Definitely stealthy.
I like it. You guys might be wondering, why are we not at the shop doing this? So the cool thing is, I actually had my excavator out at the house. We're working on a little landscape project, and this definitely comes in handy when it comes to unloading those bins. So we're gonna get this over in the side lot over there. We're gonna start unstacking some cans. All right, so this didn't go as smooth as times in the past. I was being a little bit lazy, trying to be efficient, and that sometimes bites you in the butt. In the past, I had 2 pieces of equipment, made easy work of it. I was trying to save a trip to the shop, so we got a couple little scratches here and there, but it's a dumpster, so I shouldn't really care. But at this point, now what we gotta do is we gotta toss the doors on. And like I said, you think about a million other ways you should have done it after you get it done, but at the end of the day, we got it done. We're gonna get the doors on and keep moving. Come in to me. Come into me a little bit more. Keep coming.
That's what she said.
Got him!
All right, stop. Go down. There it is. Look at that. They're not bad. That was easier than taking the bins off, I'll tell you that. Usually it's the other way around. That was cake. The one-piece design definitely helps. You used to have to do each door individually. It was such a pain. This wasn't too bad. I'm here to talk to you about your car's extended warranty. I think it's time to get these things stickered up. Let's get her locked and loaded. Perfect. Okay, so we're at one of my favorite places to get sign work done. It's our local sign pro, and the guy there just does an awesome job. He always takes care of us, and these things always come out looking fantastic. So we're gonna drop this first one right here, and we're gonna move right back to the house, grab the second one, get that off our property. That way it's not an eyesore for the neighbors, and kind of clean up the mess I made getting those things unstacked. There we go. You gotta love it when you've got those brand new rollers that still work. These tend to seize up once you have them for a few years if you don't take care of them. All right, let's go get the other one. Let's go. Second can coming in hot. Touchdown! I think we should have enough room. Oh yeah, plenty. Perfect. Should give them plenty of room to work on the front of this one and the back of this one for all the stickers. So that's exactly what we needed. All right, so we got all of the dumpsters dropped off to get stickered. We also took a little bit of time to go get the truck inspected. So we're good to actually have this thing on the road now. We're gonna go back to the sticker shop and also get a DOT number on here. But until then, I think there's another upgrade we absolutely have to do to this truck. One thing we've always been really careful of in the dumpster business is we always carried scrap wood in the back because underlayment was important. We always protected, you know, driveways for customers. The last thing you ever want to do is gouge up a brand new driveway. Well, one thing we don't have with that new truck is a bed to keep the wood in. We don't even have a toolbox for that matter. And I think we have the new solution. I like that you can keep it nice and organized on there. It's always going to be in the same spot. I think we simply need to test it. So we're going to pretend this service road over here is actually a driveway. We've had this dumpster coming up on 5 years now, and it's my OG dumpster, the first one I ever got. If you don't grease them very well and they go through a lot of winters, they'll lock up. This one finally locked up this year and I haven't fixed it yet. So the last thing we want to do is drag that across the driveway. This is kind of where the rolly skate comes in. Not bad, honestly, for that far of a drag. Can't even tell. So those did better than I expected, and they are considered the light duty ones, but I kind of want to put them up to a bigger test. So Keegan, can I borrow your keys?
No.
Can I please borrow the keys to the Honda?
Break it. My tire! All right, you're done. You're done. You're done.
Fair. You know what? That was fun. It's a little too close to my house, at least. I'm not worried about your car, but I've got something else I think we could do it with. Protecting the driveway of your customers isn't a laughing matter. This was a lot of fun, but make sure that you're always think about your customers. Take a look at Rolly Skate, look in the description below and you find yourself a discount. That way you can protect those driveways as well. So we had to run out to the shop to drop some stuff off, and since we're out here, I think I'm going to take some time to just address some of the concerns people had. One of the biggest things about this truck, since you know it is a test with MAXXD, again, could fail. We're testing it for a year to see what happens. But this whole setup, a lot of guys already messaged me about weight. One of the biggest reasons I wanted this Kenworth is because I wanted weight capacity. I wanted to be able to haul as much as possible with this rig. A lot of guys try to build their own setups and they'll put them on Dodge 5500s. And the downside to that is they limit themselves because of the weight of the system itself. They may be able to haul 2 to 2.5 tons legally. With this system, we should be able to haul 5 to 6 tons in the legal limit. So let's just drive, we'll drive right down the road. We've got a farm scale. Let's actually see what it looks like with an empty bin and then see kind of what our capabilities are. So when you get into, you know, trucking or dumpsters like we are, you get a lot of opinions on how to run. Guys will say, oh, get rid of that trailer and get yourself a real truck. Then you'll get a truck like this and they'll be like, oh, get another axle under that thing. Here's the thing, in any business there's a niche. If you advertise with your niche and you operate within your niche, you should be able to perform and do well. As soon as you start trying to do something outside of what you're, you know, actually capable of, then you'll start finding limitations, obviously. So if you know the truck is capable of 5 to 6 tons, don't go hauling concrete every day. So we know what the limitations of this is, or we assume. So let's go double check. But if we wanted to haul 5 to 6 tons every day with this thing, it might not be the realest of realest or baddest of baddest trucks that can haul the mostest of most weights, but it's gonna perform. As you can tell, it's harvest, so we gotta stay out of these guys' way. But right off the bat, let's see what this weighs empty. We got nothing in the dumpster, and we are looking at 15,020 pounds. With you not in here, it'd be even under that. So we're probably about, I don't know, about 14,000, maybe 800 pounds with one driver and a half tank gas. So this truck is rated at 26,000 pounds, which means we do not need a CDL to drive this truck, despite the fact that it has air brakes. Check your state to state laws. If you're in California, I don't know what the laws are there. So make sure that that's the case where you are. But for us, air brakes and 26,000 pounds or less, we do not need a CDL. Luckily, Keegan and I both have one if we need it, but if we were to hire another driver, there's a couple little things they need, but they don't need that CDL. So if this truck weighs just under 15,000 pounds, 14,800 roughly, we have the capacity of about 5.5 tons legally inside of the truck, which is great news. If you're driving something like a Dodge 5500, like I said, a lot of guys do like to get this type of setup, whether it's hook lift, cable, whatever, on a truck like that. If they were to put this on that, keep in mind, the truck is a lighter truck than this. Their capacity still may be only 2.5 tons, which is just a no-go when you get into roofing and a little bit of your residential construction. You're gonna be over the weight all the time, and it's all okay until you come across DOT. One other thing to keep in mind, with our truck and trailer combo, we are actually still legal up to about 5 tons as well. So there's not a significant hauling difference, but in terms of the actual capabilities and comforts of the truck, yeah, it's a little sketch. This is way smoother with 5.5 tons. You really still don't, honestly, it makes the ride better because you have all that weight in the back holding down the axle, so you're not bouncing. So it's just a completely different feeling and comfort level when you're driving a truck like this. Well, welcome to Midwest, where all of a sudden it went from like 80 to 60 and windy. So we are going to stick it out here. But what I'm thinking here is when we picked this up, if you guys watched the last video getting this from MAXXD, the first thing they showed me was, let's load this thing with 5.5 tons right at its max and show you how it works. I'm all about safety, so we're going to make sure we only put 5.5 tons, and we're going to show you the same thing again.
Huh. Hey, Clayton, this is starting to look more than 5 tons.
I look like a scale to you?
Don't roll it. No, up. With
Your side.
With your legs, not your back.
Are you lifting?
All right, he's definitely past 5 tons, but he just keeps loading.
know where the weight room is? I'll check it out.
And he's coming in for another one. All right, Clayton, so how much do you think all of this weighs? Because I've never just picked up a dumpster full of dirt, so I can't really give a good estimate.
I don't know.
Yeah, me either. That's how I'm feeling.
So we're gonna test this out. I do not condone overloading your equipment. Also, I really don't want to break this thing because this is like the livelihood of my business, but at the same time, I do want to know its limitations. Keep in mind, we live like 3 blocks, or the shop lives 3 blocks from the farm scale. I do not condone overloading your equipment and then getting on the road. So this is for educational purposes only.
That was easy.
So what I'm basically doing is I'm kind of balancing the load as best I can. If it's a light load, you can usually just shoot these things straight up. But if you've ever done this before and it's a heavy load, you got to be a little bit more creative, making sure you don't end up with a bunch of weight in the front or back. We'll see how this gets up here.
So now how much do you think this weighs?
This weighs a lot.
It's not creaking, it's not twisting, it sounds a lot better than
The trailers. Yep.
That thing kind of looks like one of them new pimple popping stress toys.
Oh yeah, kind of does.
Press them all.
No. Okay, so keep in mind, our trailers are an awesome asset for our business because 9 times out of 10, our average weight is gonna be 3/4 of a ton to 1.5 tons. We do a lot of residential. Rarely are we doing 5-6 tons, and that's only for roofing companies. This is a different level, I think. So we're gonna definitely turn the exhaust brake on. I really don't know, this could be 5 tons, this could be 8 tons. It just looked heavy to me. I haven't had to load something that heavy. When they loaded the 5 tons, they did it themselves, and I just witnessed it. This is only a couple blocks away from my shop. Again, I do not condone doing this on the road. You should not do this kind of stuff. Luckily, it is not a well-traveled road.
So how does the driving feel right now?
Honestly, man, it doesn't feel any different. The only thing is it's less bouncy because all that weight's in the back.
Right.
But outside of that, I don't really notice the weight yet. Like I said before, we got to stay out of the way of all the harvests, but this place has always been kind enough to let me check weights when I need to.
27,500.
27.5 on the dot. That's crazy that we were able to get that. I was guessing 28, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, we're nearly a ton overweight of what this truck's capable of. And to be honest, considering how much more weight we put in there, it really didn't flinch. The system itself ran flawlessly. I was a little nervous with the buttons, trying to make sure I figured out my tipping weight, but this is the first week we had it, because you never want to drop that tail too soon because then your dumpster will hang off, especially with that much weight. But you know, I nursed it up there. It's clean, it didn't hiccup. I think this thing is way overbuilt. So people like me who can't do great math, this basically comes out to exactly 6.25 tons. I am confident this thing could do way more. Very confident. When they showed us at MAXXD down in Texas, they loaded 5 tons like it was nothing. This loaded pretty easily. The truck's not squatting too bad. This thing is built right, and I am happy with it. That's it. That's all there is to it. That impressed me a lot. So I'm not here to like just, you know, flex or anything like that. I'm not gonna go here until I absolutely break it entirely. We showed that it goes above capacity. That's what I wanted to show. I'm not gonna go driving down the road illegally hauling 10 tons. Do I think it's capable of it? Close. I mean, I know it can do a lot more than 6 tons, but let's go ahead and get this emptied out. I wanna show you one feature that wasn't really thought about yet. So I'm a short guy, and one problem I had is I noticed this was still designed for a trailer. All these old dumpsters still have the chain lock in the same spot. This is a bad example, but if we're on the ground, I can't normally reach this. I'm on the ramp. So if I was to redesign one thing, come over here, Keegan, I would probably take this lock right here that I'm reaching up for. And again, the only reason I can grab it is because I'm on this massive hill. I'd put it right here on all the new dumpsters if they are going to release this bed. And I'm showing you this on the 4-foot tall dumpsters, the 14 yards. On the larger 18 and 20 yard dumpsters, it's impossible. You have to basically step up on the bumper to lock that chain in. See, this is a perfect example. I mean, this is the smaller dumpster. I need that to be like right here so I can just one motion. The crazy thing is this hoist is like rated for 20 something tons. So it puts up this 6 tons like it's nothing. On some of the trailers, you go doing more than 6 tons, and we've done more than 6 tons, unfortunately, when we had a little surprise under a layer of trash. But it struggled. This doesn't care at all. So I'm never gonna say that this was like the best of the best setup and stuff like that. But if you already have a MAXXD dumpster or a MAXXD trailer, or you're looking to get one because you have a dealer close, this is an incredible alternative so you can grow your business rather than buying another trailer. You could have a trailer as a backup. This could be your primary truck. It's way easier than guys that start with these systems. They start with the trailer version of this, and then they're like, oh, I need to get a truck. So they sell their truck, they sell their trailer, and then they buy a hook lift truck for $150,000. And then they realize really quick, oh wait, if my hook lift breaks, I need to get maintenance done on the truck. I have no backup. They don't have a backup trailer hook lift. They don't have a, you know, second hook lift truck. So you can operate and be really flexible if you keep your truck and trailer and also utilize something like this. And that's exactly why we waited for something like this to show up in the market, and I'm really glad we did. Works perfectly for us. So before we head back to town, I do want to show you guys something we're also working on. If you follow the channel, you know all about my midlife crisis. Introducing Betty White. So Betty White is finally getting an upgrade. Matt Corp has been awesome to work with. This is their dumpster. It was an incredible setup. MAXXD doesn't make a dumpster that is 17 feet long, but I wanted to be able to build my own rig to still move MAXXD cans. So we have a locking mechanism under here that can lock in those 14-foot cans. So it'll lock here and in the rear. And then Matt Corp made one that could actually fill the whole length of this truck. But I have a huge thanks to shout out to my buddy Trevor, who drove 4.5 hours to go pick up an F750 axle that we think is gonna fit on this bad boy. So soon, you are gonna see this style Alcoa wheel or aluminum wheel up front on this beauty. And I'm hoping to have it done before the holiday, before we do our annual toy drive, where we use this for the rolling operations redneck sleigh. That's my goal. It may not happen, but either way, we'll still have it as is. But if I can get some chrome up front, she's gonna be looking beautiful soon. A lot of you guys have been asking me about this truck. We're still building it. We're gonna get her looking good. I do wanna get it repainted because of a couple little details that the previous owner kind of screwed up. But after we have it painted, looking fresh, still looking vintage, maybe we'll just rip out that gas motor, throw in a Cummins with a hood stack so that when you're going down the road, it kind of looks like a choo-choo train going choo-choo. So it's been all fun and games testing out the new truck, but at the end of the day, work still needs to get done. On the way back into town, we got a call. We actually got that dumpster dropped off at a customer's house. And shortly after that, Evan gave me a call here at Sign Pro and he said these things are done and they look beautiful. I am absolutely in love with this like military green white combo. It just kind of fits the brand more. Rolling Operations has that military feel to it. I wouldn't mind switching all of my dumpsters to this color. So I'm sure some of you guys were really hoping that we were gonna take this out to the shop, load it with 8 to 10 tons, push it to its absolute limit, and possibly break the rig. Keep in mind though, guys, this is the first week we've had this rig and we haven't broke it yet, which is a pretty good sign. We've only done a few customer drops since it is so new to us, but I am sure that we will have a customer that surprises us very soon, and they won't be kidding when this thing's loaded with something ridiculous like 8 to 10 tons, and then we'll find out for sure what this thing's capable of. So as much fun as it is to show you guys what this truck and my trailers are capable of, I still have a business to run. I still need to keep that going because that's what pays the bills. I'm going to continue to make some notes on this system of things I would change, things I would update, and things I would be really cautious of. But in the meantime, we're going to keep running the business, keeping it flowing with this equipment. So stay tuned. I'm sure there's a lot more to come. I know there is. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep grinding, guys.